I would like now to go a little bit into my presentation. I'm going to be talking about Playa Bonita, which is a very special development for us here in Panama. First of all, I would like to run a short video done by one of our customers, Liberty Media. Did this video as a presentation of their new headquarters here in Panama.
Panama, located on the narrow bridge of land that connects North and South America, Panama is known for its tropical natural beauty, white sandy beaches, natural hot springs, waterfalls, a vibrant music scene, and boasts its own unique culture. A country that is deep in history and was the first Spanish colony of the Pacific, Panama is celebrated as the door to the seas and key to the universe. There is so much life in Panama. Panama City is a modern, thriving metro city with a population of almost 1.4 million and an annual growth rate exceeding 5% in the last 10 years. Given its political, economic and social stability, it's the ideal place for our new Liberty Latin America operational campus. It's a fast-paced, lively center for commerce, banking, agriculture, service and tourism. Panama is an up-and-coming digital hub in Latin America due to its high connectivity and availability of ICT infrastructure. It has a robust network of 7 undersea fiber optic cables that converge in the country, interconnected with the Central American optical fiber backbone network.
And that's just a very brief introduction about our country. And like I said, it was done by one of my dear customers here. This is just to give you an overview. Obviously, location is always key. And I think Panama qualifies obviously for a great location. Today, I would like to talk once again about location. This is Panama City right here on the right-hand side upper corner of my screen. And we are very fortunate to have this development right across the Bridge of the Americas that crosses the canal. It's called Playa Bonita. And today I'm going to talk about Casa Bonita, one of the buildings we have done there. Now, very important to give you an idea of the relationship of Playa Bonita to the surrounding area. We have Punta Bruja, which is a natural reserve right here on the left-hand side of my screen, and also on the right-hand screen. Very important, the incorporation of nature into our project, and obviously this location being very, very important. It's the first beach out of the city. We're basically 10 minutes out from Panama City itself, and the next beach is 1 hour away. The area surrounding us used to be a former military base. It was handed over back to Panama in the year 2000, and nowadays it's a special economic zone where we have several multinational companies headquarters nowadays. For example, Dell is here with us right around the corner, and we have several other of those multinationals that have set up headquarters so close. Now, for this particular project, we're developing in phases. We started out with an intercontinental hotel, nowadays a Dreams Hotel, 300 rooms right here in the middle of my screen. And a few years later, we did the Westin Playa Bonita with 600 rooms. And then today we're going to be talking about the first condo we did, Casa Bonita. Now, we have to be very mindful of all the surrounding nature we have around us. So part of the environmental impact studies obviously have to take care of this mangrove forest we have in the center, which is called the Dejal forest. Obviously, it's not a normal situation. We're so close to the city. You have this rainforest. We have to obviously find ways to incorporate it into the design with minimal impact. In the distance out here, we see the Howard Air Force Base, the former Air Force Base, now the Special Economic Zone, the Intercontinental, nowadays Dreams here on the left-hand side, the Westin here in the center, and Casa Bonita is over here on the right-hand side. And as you can see, we have 1.5 kilometers of beach, and we have a lot of mangrove. For example, we have this mangrove forest here that we're preserving as well. This incorporation of nature into hard construction, obviously, very, very key to do in the right way. No? This is part of the rainforest we have under management here as part of Punta Bruja. We have some trails that go through it, but otherwise it's very, very minimal impact on the nature, and obviously being so close to the city, like I said, location is such an important aspect of real estate development, and being only 15 minutes away from downtown Panama, what you saw in that video, is key. This is part of our landscaping around Punta Bruja. And this is the mangrove forest I mentioned we have right in front of our Pearl Club. This goes up with the high tide about 1 foot or 30 centimeters. And as you can see, we've tried to maintain it as pristine as possible because this is one of the attractions, the main attractions, obviously, of being so close to the city and so close to nature at the same time. This is just another view of the initial project that we did. Like I mentioned, the 300-room hotel Dreams, and that hotel was completed about 15 years ago. Then we go on to the Westin that was done about 8 years ago, 600 rooms. And you can see how the rainforest, the mangrove reserve called the Dehal Forest is right next to it. So obviously the interaction between the buildings and the guests with the rainforest is very important to maintain as pristine as possible, no? And for our next phase of development, we continued on with residential, and that's what I wanted to talk about today. Casa Bonita is surrounded by rainforest, but once again, so close to the city, it makes for a very special building. This building in particular has double glazed windows throughout the apartments. They have apartments from 100 meters up to 250-meter penthouses. The idea here obviously was to take advantage of the infrastructure we have developed in this site. And it's once again just 15 minutes away from Panama City. And this is just a bird's eye view of the building itself. Look at how you insert such a structure all surrounded by rainforest. I mean, it's really for us as developers, we've done a lot of buildings in downtown Panama where you usually have other buildings as your neighbors. Here, we basically have trees and macaws and parrots and monkeys, all kinds of things. So obviously the construction had to be very low impact, no? As part of the development of, obviously we have a new club that serves this project and as well as a new project that I'm going to talk a little bit later on. But look at how we have trees all around us. I mean, for us, doing high-rise construction within the jungle was really challenging. Now, in terms of marketing this project, obviously the first element we always try to emphasize is the location. And like I said, this is the first beach at 10 minutes from downtown Panama. The next beach is 1 hour away. So from the marketing point of view, obviously for us, it's very important to enhance that location as being key. Our plans for marketing these properties have always been oriented towards the international market. Like most of Panama, you know, we're such a small country, we really depend on international investment coming into Panama. And definitely real estate has always been very attractive given our location. And we do share some similarities with Singapore regarding the small size. You know, for such a small country, we do have oversized infrastructure, like an airport that serves 16 million people. You know, you have to keep in mind that we only have 4 million inhabitants in Panama, but we can serve from Panama over 700 million inhabitants in all of Latin America. That's one of the reasons why we have this multinational company set up headquarters here. We have over 150 of them, just like Liberty Media. Now, this location being so close to the city, obviously from the marketing point of view, is very important. You have access to hospitals, to grocery stores, to cinemas, to, you know, the cruise port is very close by. Location is obviously very key. We've been focusing on the United States market of retirees. For example, for me, I think it's a very interesting market. They're by definition unemployed. You know, they do not longer work. I mean, they're going to be more resilient post-pandemic, especially considering the economic impact that we're going to be seeing in the world. I do think that retirees, you know, the baby boomer population has always been one of the richest generations coming post-war. Now, continuing on, past Casa Bonita, we're planning to do a new series of buildings that's going to combine residential and hotel, basically. And that's a new site over here, just around the corner from Casa Bonita, the first project we just saw. This is the Westin over here on the left-hand side. And this building is actually a condo suite concept. What is a condo suite? It's a combination between an apartment and a hotel. It's not a hotel sized unit. It's over 80 meters square, two bedrooms. You can do up to third bedroom. And the idea here is to offer it as a rental property through Airbnb. Now, many years ago, my brother, who runs our hospitality side, started to see how Airbnb and all these shared economy platforms were starting to erode into our market share of hotels. So, you know, if you cannot beat them, join them. So we're offering now this project as a part of our offer in Playa Bonita. And the idea here that is you can buy a unit, use it for 3 months out of the year, come in for the summer here in Panama. And then when you're not in Panama, you can rent it out through Airbnb. And and share in the profits that that brings. Now, why are we doing this as part of the development in Playa Bonita? Obviously, post-pandemic, we have to change our business plans in many ways. Obviously, people are working remotely. There are more people working from anywhere in the world, really, as long as you have good internet. Just like this meeting, we have people from all over the world joining together. I mean, Panama at 7 a.m. here. There are people in Paris, it's 2 p.m. there, but we're all connected through the web. Now, the idea for the condo suites is that you can go and spend some time here in Panama and work from here. And when you're not here, obviously, we can rent the unit out for you. Now, Panama obviously is very concerned regarding the restructuring of our financial future regarding construction of real estate projects. And as such, we have worked together with the Panamanian government to develop new incentive laws. For example, Law 122 that was rolled out last year gives you a 100% tax credit on investments in tourism projects, such as Palma Bonita, for example. Palma Bonita being run Airbnb and being registered in the tourism registry qualifies as a project that incorporates tourism as one of its backbones. Now, the idea behind the tax credit is that you can sell it to a Panamanian company, for example, an energy provider, or for example, somebody in the banking sector or one of our banks may buy the tax credit from you. And obviously that offsets quite a bit the investment done. Now, we have been combining this together with the government to provide new policies to make it more attractive for investment to come into Panama. Investments such as those multinational companies that I mentioned before. Now we want to go after qualified investors. For example, if you invest $500,000 in the Panamanian Stock Exchange, you can become a permanent resident of Panama. And we think that's going to be very attractive for people who are considering additional residences to the one they already hold. Obviously, this has been a working relationship with the Panamanian government. We have tried as the private sector to orient them in terms of what works, what makes it attractive in terms of marketing to attract foreign direct investment. You have to remember, Panama does not print its own currency. We use the US dollar. We do not control interest rates. So at the end of the day, our third key driver is going to be attracting foreign investment. Now, as part of Law 122, you're supposed to go into the public stock exchange. We have been studying, obviously, the addition of the green certification into the bonds that we're going to issue. Now, very important, there's money out there in the world earmarked to invest only in green bonds. And we have been seeing how the allocations being done by foreign funds has been going up from 35 to 45% of their investment. They're looking for green buildings, green investments. No? And if we can combine this with tourism and tourism-related projects, the better. Another category that you can qualify is sustainable bonds. Now, sustainable bonds means that, for example, you're going to employ 50% of your workforce is going to be women, to have parity in hiring. This is another qualification that we think is very important to have in your issuance of bonds or stock in the public sector, because at the end of the day, it brings you more capital. And that's very important. I think makes business sense to make green projects. Make energy saving features obviously make sense from the economic point of view. It's like a dividend that you're saving money on your electric bill. But also, if you go into the green and sustainable issuances, you will find that there's more and more money available for those kind of issuances. Like we mentioned, UBS, for example, is seeing an increase from 39 to 48% over the next 5 years. And most people believe that this will become the norm in a short period of time. Anyways, that's just my short presentation. Thank you for your time. Lily, I'm delighted to be here. We're quite honored to be considered to be part of your forum, and I look forward to your questions.